Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Today, with the psychic awakening rumours running wild, it's time to take a look at which Chaos Primarch is most likely to return. Before I begin, I would like to say a huge thank you to Theodore for the Games Workshop virtual gift voucher. Man, that was really nice of you, and I really appreciate the gift, so a big thank you for that. Now, on to today's topic. The Psychic Awakening is on its way, and with huge promises of it being a major event for the 40k universe as we know it, it has to include the return of a Primarch. So, who is most likely? Well, let's take a look at who are the options, chaos-wise. Primarchs known to be alive still: Angeron, Fulgrim, Thabo, and Lugar. Kurz and Alfarius, as it stands, are currently considered dead, so I am not considering them as possibilities at this time. General spoiler warning here, I am going to discuss a wide range of current lore snippets, so just be warned. But with that said, let's jump straight in. So let's begin the ranking with least likely to most. Number 4, Thabo, Primarch of the Iron Warriors. There has been little to no mention of Thabo returning anytime soon, so it's either the best kept secret or it's just not on the cards at this moment in time. We are beginning to get a little mention of Thabo here and there, as with all the Primarchs now. In the Chaos Codex it mentions after the 13th Black Crusade and the formation of the Great Rift, Thabo unleashed 1,000 armies and coordinated them in a grand strategy against the most heavily defended worlds. But that's about it. And then we get the mention he also fought his brother Mortarion in the War of Rust and Ruin, which I definitely want to see more of. But he lost. So it's safe to say the momentum for Thabo return is not really on his side right now. We need to start seeing hints of a major Thabo victory or something along those lines before I can see a realistic return for the Primarch of the Iron Warriors. Perhaps during this campaign we may get to see or read some major victories for him and his legion. But I don't expect him to be among the next Primarchs to return with a new model. Number 3. Now this is where things get interesting, but number 3, I'm saying Angeron. What? I hear you cry. Number 3? Come on, Rho. I know. But hear me out. I accept there is a good chance Angeron can return here. There is very little difference between the top 3 choices, and it's more for the reasons why I think the top 2 could be coming back than why Angeron won't be. There were rumours around a year ago of an Angeron model being ready to roll, and it apparently looks absolutely awesome. And I don't doubt that. I think that's probably very much true. Apparently it takes up to 3 years before an army is released, so a Primarch model I could easily expect to be done a year or 2 before hitting the shelves. However, I just haven't seen much teasing an Angeron return since. The only mention we have had of Angeron is the 8th edition rulebook of the Salamanders stopping an attempt to summon him onto the world of Armageddon. Don't get me wrong, he's ripping it up at the Siege of Terror in the Horus Heresy series right now like a rock star. But in the 40k timeline, there's not a lot going on. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see him return. We know Khorne is the most popular of the Chaos Gods sales-wise, so an Angeron release with the new World Eater range and Berserkers could be big money. But looking at what we know of the lore right now, I can't put him above number 3. Number 2. Now again, this was extremely tough between the top 2, and these are honestly probably a 1A and 1B, as either could be expected. And that may surprise some of you a little, but hear me out. Number 2, Lugar. Lugar, the guy who has not been up to much for the past 10,000 years, well, after 10,000 years then just maybe he's ready. No, he's not the most popular Primarch. However, I think there are some very valid reasons we could see Lugar return. We did get the new Dark Apostle released back when the Chaos Marine range was updated, which of course is synonymous with the Word Bearers. Lugar of all the Primarchs is tied most closely with the Chaos Gods, and we have actually seen a glimpse of him since the Heresy in the short story Shadow of the Past, where he meets Corax within the Eye of Terror, and Corax tells him, "I will find you, and I will end you." So a Lugar return could very realistically lead to a following Corax return, which would play into the lore very well. And is there a loyalist Primarch more closely associated with the warp right now than Corax, who has embraced his warp powers? And not only that, but there is a very prominent mention of Lugar at the end of the novel Dark Imperium Plague War, where Guilliman is debating reading Lugar's heretical book, which Lugar of course wrote during the Great Crusade, which essentially is a book calling the Emperor God, and the source material for everything being the Imperial cult. And of course, most interestingly, the novel ends with Guilliman opening the book and beginning to read. Now, where are they going to take this story? Who knows? It could just help Guilliman understand his fallen brother more, or it could further the Emperor is a God storyline. Either way, Lugar is a very prominent piece in that conversation. Man, I've almost talked myself into making him number 1 here. Is it too late to change the rankings? Yes it is, because number 1 I have Fulgrim, the most likely Chaos Primarch to return, Fulgrim. Oh yes. Now I'll admit there may not be as solid lore based reasons for Fulgrim as there is for Lugar, but the rumours for a Fulgrim return were all over the place earlier in the year. It was all the talk of an Emperor's Children release with their Primarch, and with the Loyalist Space Marines recently starting to get their chapter specific supplements, then why not Chaos versions as well? We know this event is promising new rules for every codex and new models we will not believe. Let's be honest, I mean, look at this guy. The Fulgrim model is going to be absolutely insane. Compare it to the Marathi release for Age of Sigmar, what was it, last year? Fulgrim is going to knock it out of the park. So really, for those reasons alone, he made the top of the list. However, we have also had mention of him in the lore too. During the 13th Black Crusade, Fulgrim massacred Imperial Guard, and he also taunted his brother Guilliman upon his return to the galaxy by possessing a body. So we have had first-hand contact with him in the current timeline. And of course we still have that loyal clone of Fulgrim still alive out there. Okay, yes, he may be technically imprisoned and in stasis at the moment, but there's nothing stopping him coming back and us finally getting the Fulgrim versus Fulgrim match. Oh man, that would be great. If you haven't watched that upload I did a while back, then definitely be sure to check that one out. And of course, if you watch my previous upload, then my thoughts about Dear Ferrus and the Emperor, then of course we just have to have a Fulgrim release. So there we have my thoughts on a possible Chaos Primarch return. Fulgrim, number 1. Agree, disagree. Who would you like to see, or who would you not? Or do you think we need a Loyalist Primarch return before another Chaos one? Guilliman can't do it all on his own after all. As always, drop a comment down below. A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support really means a lot to me, it truly does. And if you're new, then please consider subscribing to help the channel continue to grow. If you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you guys again real soon.